Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Microsoft Business Applications MVP, and today I have a guest who is also a Microsoft Business Applications MVP, Steve Chinsky. Steven, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Thanks, Rick. Steve Chinsky. I work for a Microsoft Gold partner called L&L Consulting Services. Live south of Boston, and I've been in this community for going on my 26th year now. So way back when it was just called Navision and was not even owned by Microsoft. And I concentrate mainly in the Business Central space, obviously implementing, architecting, and advising, as well as been involved with our community for so long now. So that's pretty much me. And love that you invited me to that talk about Doug today.
Okay, great. And when I meet anybody who's a Business Central MVP, I just like, man, they must be busy because that product's just growing and it's changing, and Microsoft's paying a lot of attention to it. So you're in a very good space. But you and I have a long history of organizing these communities, and you've got a big event coming up in uh, just a week or so, right? A couple of weeks.
Yeah, March 12th. We've
Yes.
got one in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Where basically it's being held, on I'm sorry, the 12th of the month, and we're basically having it at the Great Valley Corporate Center. Sorry, I'm looking at the address here on the side in case my head moves for those watching. But I'm so excited, and the reason I'm so excited about it is because traveling around the US, meeting up with people at these regional meetups is so important for education, for me at least. And that's kind of where I kind of my love and my passion thrive from, where we go in and we bring all the people together, whether it be Business Central or whether it be the Dataverse CE side and the Power side, and the people come together to learn from the experts. And so super excited we got a chance to do one up here in the Northeast. Excited it's in the Philadelphia space, as well as we're going to have other ones around the United States later this year. But that's the upcoming event, and I expect to see everybody there. All the way from Virginia, hopefully up to New England and around the different states that are in the Philadelphia region.
And we just had one in Canada just before Christmas break, and you could see there's a pent up demand because a lot of people can't make it to the big events like Summit or Dynamics Con, but they can get to a regional event. And we sold out like 10 days ahead of time, right? It just we had no capacity, and the next one we're planning, we're going to extend it a day because we expect too many people. So I think these regional events are fantastic. They're free of charge, right?
Yeah, I
Like
love that.
it's
The
excellent.
fact that the four letters FREE is
Yes.
like nowadays you don't hear that word much, and the fact that people can come together to learn from our experts, and the fact that they're free to attendees, all because of our sponsors. That's the most important thing, is our sponsors help us make it free to the actual people attending. So it is important to always, and I always like to thank our sponsors for this regional event, OpenText, Vertex, Own, Corpay, and of course yourself, the Partner Talks.
So when
I
you're at these
love,
shows, make sure you drop by the booths because they're buying lunch.
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it's important. I mean, that's what makes our community kind of thrive. I mean, is our sponsors, and our sponsors help us educate people and obviously offer up, their services to our attendees and everything like that. So it's big. It's going to be I mean, this is well needed in the Northeast. Obviously, regionally it's perfect. Whether it's in Philly, and it's hard to go to New York. It's a little expensive to attend. It's a very very tough area to go to. And maybe next year or maybe in future years, we can go more north New Jersey and kind of broaden the scope for travel for our folks.
So that's great. So let's talk about, we've got some sponsors coming. And in the event itself, it's going to be broken into two tracks, right? Kind of the Dataverse, which is CRM and Power Apps, and Business Central. So I think you said Heidi Newhauser is organizing the Dataverse side. You're organizing the Business Central side. So who do we got coming out to speak on the Business Central side of things?
I mean, we invited some pretty popular folks in our community, and you've probably seen them at Dynamics Con. You've probably seen them at Summit speak. But we have Joe Shields coming in to talk about the basically the unlock the power of Business Central APIs, which people are getting more and more involved with, trying to understand, how do I talk to external systems? How do these APIs work? Is it even humanly possible to talk to an external system? I mean, not everything has to be within the BC confines or an app. There's ways of doing it through other means, and API is becoming more popular. Basically, we have Leanne Paul, and she's coming to talk about, obviously, mastering the upgrade maze. I mean, upgrades from whether you're going from Nav, GP, I'll even say Solomon, what the heck, SL. I mean, or even another product. How do you upgrade, from an old system to the new system? How do you go through? What's the best approach, or is it a simplistic approach? Is it more complex and stuff like that? I mean, in addition to that, we have Tiffany Allen. Now she'll be there talking about AP automation. As you know, she's part of our ISV community, so we certainly are ecstatic to hear about what are the 5 reasons, Corpay, one of our sponsors, are speaking. Then we've got, in addition to that, we've got Louis Rosenberg. He'll be there talking about maintaining data with configuration packages and templates. Not many people know that you can do many things in Business Central with a simple configuration package. And you'd be surprised how much power they have, and allows you to kind of pull data out and push data back in. So it's kind of fun when you see the eyeballs like, what the heck? This is humanly possible. So Louis, who's been in the product back in the NAV days, I mean, he's going to be talking about that. And last but not least, I mean, obviously, I'll be talking as well about budgeting. How do you do a GL budget? I know it's only February, and a lot of times, people want to get a GL budget into the software. So it's important to know that you can do it. How do you do it? How do you have fun doing it? And really use it to obviously do better reporting, better management reporting with those tools, whether you do it within BC or whether you even do it in Power BI. You can apply these budgets and do some budget to actual financials. And then last but not least is the networking. I think that is an across the board, both sides of our tracks, is the whole notion of the fact that we're all together. We've got time to break bread, as one would say, and have have lunch. And we also have time to kind of sit there and solve each other's problems, because not only are the attendees at all of our regionals have come to learn, but you'd be surprised how many people bring a few issues that they want solved. And having that group of people, those experts sitting in that room that could sit there and solve a problem where it's been around for umpteen months, or I've
Steve,
always been told.
I've got to add something here, because at our regional event, they're small, right? 100,
Yeah.
150 people. I go to Dynamics Con, 2,000 people we're going to have in Chicago. Once the speaker's done, they disappear into this mess. In this world, there's the speaker afterwards. And the whole day of our regional event was just huddles. You could see it all over the place as people were breaking into huddles to find things out. And I was at one event a little while ago where this lady had a CRM problem. She had 3 MVPs working on it for her, computers out and everything. And I'm thinking, I wonder if she realizes she has probably, I don't know, $1,200 worth of help sitting there working on her problem for her while, in real time. So it's an incredible opportunity for end user customers to come out, and, for partners. Because if I'm an up-and-coming Business Central consultant or Dataverse, Power Apps, CRM consultant, I get to talk to the best of the best. And, eventually you want to get there. So the opportunity for this networking and actually meeting people and having meaningful conversations is next to none.
It's funny, going to a big conference like, Dynamics Con, and, that's a larger event, more cost to it, more everything to it. But a regional event being so close to home, and I say that in my region where it's semi-close to home, even if it's a 4-hour drive or whatever it is, maybe a small plane flight. But those one-day events where people come in, I've seen faces like literally, you make friends, you make contacts, you go home. And I've gotten like emails and phone calls tons of times from people who've come to our regionals. I mean, whether it be in Tampa, we've done one. We did one in Virginia last year, a regional event for the Northeast. I mean, I've been to other ones in other cities, Texas and stuff. But just the people to know that they have a place to call and get help. That these experts are not just behind a facade, let's call it, or basically we're locked away and we're only coming out when we're allowed to come out. And you're not allowed to talk to us ever. It's funny, our volunteers are very much open to communicating with people and helping out. And I think that in and of itself makes it so much more economical to go to a regional event, or maybe two regional events if it's close enough, depending on where it is. And then, of course, maybe attending, of course, the annual conference, to get more education because there's much more sessions, and then meeting up with more experts there as well. So
And if
I'm
I'm
excited if you are.
And if I'm a group manager, I may get the budget to go to Dynamics Con. But this is something where we can all get into a car and drive down. The whole team can take the day and go. And we saw a lot of that at our event. Was that 4 people would walk in from a company, right, and spend the whole day, and it's networking, learning, and really they make it a company event.
Yeah, I think the last one we did down in Arlington, Virginia area, we had multiple people coming in from locations that were in the region. I know we've done it, I've done obviously did Tampa, they've done one, and a lot of people came, multiple people from different companies came in. I think that's where, if you think about it, people are willing to drive, even if it's like that 2 to 3 hour window. There are people willing to drive because it's one carpool and it's easy to go in and out. You're there in the morning, you have a good full day, and you go home at one would say in the evening or the late afternoon into the early evening. It's not, it doesn't hurt, and being away from the office just for a day. It's a nice educational event. You get things solved, and you make friends. And I think in the end, that's what both from you get to learn people in your area. Think about it. How many people know that maybe possibly you live in a town, and I'll use, you work in Philly, let's say, that's your business, and somebody's literally over in, Baltimore, which is like an hour away. You didn't even know that. The person's in the same software, they're in Baltimore, they use it. Doesn't mean you have to use it the same, but you're actually in the same software. So what if you call the person up? Hey, how do you do payables? Or hey, how do you do this? And it's like, think about it. Having a user talk to a user, that is so much. That's like $1 million right then and there. That's
Yes.
like the old MasterCard commercial.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's a good, priceless. Okay, Steve, I want to thank you. I'll put all the links to the event. We're going to When we publish this in a few days, I'll put all the links in there. People can find it. People can go. And I'm telling you, if you're a partner or a customer and you're in the Northeast, you do not want to miss this event. So, Steve, thanks for your time, and thanks for coming on Partner Talks.
Thanks, Rick.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you.